Hello everyone, Cherry here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Battlefield 1. Now, after the exciting reveal of Battlefield 1's multiplayer gameplay, I left feeling excited but a little bit worried. Now, hear me out, as I am pumped as anyone for this game, but two changes in particular that DICE have made have had me scratching my head a little bit. Now, the first of these is changes to teamwork based around vehicles. So traditionally, in a battlefield, you would have one driver, maybe one gunner for a land vehicle with maybe some passengers, and of course the driver and gunner would be engineers. For a tank, when you engaged an enemy tank, it was the role of your gunner to get out and support your battle by repairing your tank from safety of the rear, so they can't get shot or anything. You're protecting them while they're repairing round the back nice and safe. And even sometimes firing their rocket launchers, you know, peeking out, having a quick shot and turning the tide of battle, basically letting you have a double tap from your main cannon, drastically increasing your DPS output and thus winning you the game or the engagement with the enemy tank. And also another reason why the driver himself would go engineer is if you just manage to scrape your way through the fight, you'd immediately jump out with your gunner and start repairing with him. I mean, as long as the environment's safe, you've dealt with all the nearby threats, both hop out and save the vehicle. I mean, if it's on fire, you've pretty much got no option. You both get out and you repair it as soon as possible. Sometimes even in the heat of like an infantry fight, it can be a viable tactic. You know, I've done it before where you've got a vehicle down from like 1, 2, 3%, burn it up to about 15, near enough instantly, fought off a few, keep hopping out, and then your gunner can take over once you've got out of the critically low stages of damage. But this is where Battlefield 1 varies from previous Battlefields, as with Battlefield 1, DICE has changed this. No longer is there an engineer class for the main spawn screen. You can't just play as an engineer. You become an engineer when you spawn in a vehicle. However, your passengers that spawn on you into the other seats will not be. Also, for repairing, you repair the tank yourself. It's like an ability you trigger from within the vehicle. Once you start repairing, a little pop-up shows you how long until the action's completed. So think of like a loading bar. Every time it goes to the end, you'll have a burst of repair. I'm not quite sure on the percentages, but it'd be loading, repaired 15%, loading, and etc, etc. But while you're doing this, the vehicle is out of action. You are incredibly vulnerable while you're doing this. You can't move, you can't shoot, you're just repairing. Now, the only thing with this is, if you're hit or take any damage or anything like that while you're in this loading bar, so it were, when you're repairing, it resets. So you can't repair through damage anymore. That is no longer a viable thing. If you're taking damage, you're taking damage. Repairing is for in-between fights. It's not a mid-fight tool anymore. Completely changing how vehicle combat will work in this game. Now, it may seem cheesy to have an engineer repairing from behind when you're against that situation in an armour fight, but for me this was one of the great skill ceilings of cooperation and manoeuvring between driver and gunner, and one which will be sorely missed by me. Who knows if this is the final decision or if passengers may gain this ability at a later date through upgrades, ranking up, spending time in vehicles and getting kills. Who knows, we'll just have to wait and see for that one. The other point I'm worried about is the changes to the medic and assault classes. While we all got a little sick of medics having the best equipment and guns in the form of medic bags and assault rifles, changing it so medics are a mid-range focus now in this game. They excel at mid-range. They have basically DMRs, and because of this their optimal engagement range has been increased. So rather than being stuck in on the corner or in the trench, really getting stuck in with the front line, dropping bags, keeping the train going, now they're going to be behind the assaults. Now, I suppose this can work in picking people up. However, those medic bags aren't going to be as readily available at people's feet anymore. Medics are going to have to take the conscious decision to run in to a less than optimal engagement range just to heal teammates, whereas before it was more of a passive thing. The medic would be in the front lines basically playing selfishly, dropping a medibag for themselves, but the team would benefit due to its area of effect and them happening to be on the front lines with the medic. So this could be counterintuitive depending on how they work this though. Medics that naturally do better away from the front line will of course stay away from the front line. leaving injured teammates for that small chance of a mid-range headshot, which will be so appealing to the medics now they excel at that range. Of course, this is dependent on map design, but I can see this becoming a problem. Again, however, I still welcome the change of taking some power away from the godlike medic class. Thank God it's changing, but we'll just see how this one works out. It could be still a good change. I'm just having my doubts, that's all. I'm not slamming the idea completely. Anyway, sorry for my ramblings, but I just wanted to get a few thoughts out on the matter. If you have any concerns from the gameplay that EA recently shown, let me know in the comments section below, and don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. This is Cherry signing out.